Well, it finally happened. The UFC's Golden Pony lost Best in Show to a guy that I'm gonna guess the majority of casual fans wouldn't be able to, before today, identify by his face, by his name, or by his body of work. Who is this Magomed Anklaev, who just upended the most popular fighter in the sport right now? Well, I can tell you for certain who he's not, and that's a guy that's gonna sell even a small fraction of the tickets, pay-per-views, or merchandise that Alex Pereira has. Not even close. So, was this a massive blow to the UFC? Are they never going to financially recover from this, to use a very outdated meme from Tiger King? I mean, we are in an era of the sport where stars, like real stars, are few and far between. Alex was certainly number one, but behind him, who do you have? Skittles busted. Topuria might end up being very popular, but he's not a proven draw yet. Islam's star status is debatable. He's regionally popular, but so are a lot of fighters. Izzy is headlining fight night cards now. You have lower tier stars like Gaethje, Max, and Poirier, but point being, Pereira was really in his own space at the moment, and he just lost his title in a pretty unsatisfying way. In any other era, this might have been a devastating outcome for the UFC, but Dana White didn't seem particularly bothered backstage. In fact, he seemed almost entirely indifferent. The promotion is posting record profits year on year, and they've been doing it in this current star-thin landscape with no problem at all. They're probably about to sign a massive rights deal with some mega corporation streaming service that's gonna feed them tons of cash for the next half decade or more. So yeah, I don't think that they're sweating this outcome one bit. But okay, who cares about the UFC's coffers? What about the sport? What about the fans? The guy everybody loves watching is no longer champion. That absolutely one-of-a-kind aura just got shattered in the least satisfying way possible. A decision in a pretty close but not particularly eventful fight. And who knows if he will ever be champion again. Not to mention Magomed, I don't think is going to make that special connection with fans, however long he ends up holding that belt. Everybody was so happy when Poatan was beating the shit out of Jamal Hill and Khalil Roundtree. That's the stuff fans eat up. Alex was truly a star attraction. He was the reason you bought an event or a ticket. Fans didn't even want Ank to get his title shot in the first place because they thought it might be boring or that he would win and he'd have a snoozer of a championship reign. But my dear MMA friends, I think what happened was a wonderful outcome. Not because it was a great fight. As I said, it wasn't bad, but it's not any kind of legendary one you're gonna watch again and again. Not because I appreciate when scoring is close and it's a really unsatisfying way to see a title change hands with a bit of a whimper, and certainly not because I'm any kind of fan of Ankalaev. I am incredibly indifferent to him. But what makes that title matter is that it represents the best fighter in the world at that weight class. And the only way that it continues to represent that is that the best compete against each other. And whatever the outcome, even if it's entirely against what we want to see, even if the really cool stone guy loses and we love watching him win, it was the right outcome to keep that belt representing what it's meant to represent. Ank has not lost since his UFC debut in 2018. He's had 14 fights now since then. That vacant title bout with Blachowicz was a disaster, but to me, in large part because it should have been scored for Magomed. He should have been a champion 3 years ago. My larger point being, he has proven that he is one of the two best light heavyweights in the world, and it was time to see if Poatan could hold him off. He could not. And yeah, that does suck as a fan who loves seeing Chama running wild and main eventing events with that shiny gold belt. But the only reason that belt means anything, or why him being a champion in the first place was special, is because the UFC has consistently over the years, with some exceptions here and there, put the best in the world against each other for that gold. And this is another moment that builds these championships' legacies. This was a good outcome for the sport because it was a fair competition between the two best guys. Not to mention White said the rematch is next probably anyway, so there's a very good chance Poatan's gonna be shooting imaginary arrows with the world championship yet again very soon. So fans can take a big sigh of relief. But even if he doesn't get the rematch or loses again, this was still a good outcome. If the UFC had decided, you know what, the fans just don't want to see Ank, let's give Johnny Walker a title shot. He's fun, he does the worm, and more importantly, he's probably gonna get knocked the fuck out in spectacular fashion by our star attraction, and that's gonna be awesome. But if they did that, that belt wouldn't mean shit anymore, and neither would Poatan's legacy. Sometimes the outcomes we don't want are the best possible outcomes for the future integrity of the sport. We can't have those great moments we love if they don't mean anything in the first place. All right, I'm starting to feel like I'm your father explaining to you that your goldfish dying is a learning experience or something. Let's talk about the rest of the card now. And by the rest of the card, I mostly mean Justin Gaethje. Not gonna lie, this was a bit of a thin event, not a ton of major implications. It was funny though, after the event, Justin didn't seem to know what it is that he's gonna be be doing next, even though he said he wanted to fight Islam, and understandably. But the dude's in a bit of a weird spot, beating Fiziev a second time, and with him on short notice no less, now making 3 straight losses. It doesn't really feel like a mandate victory that would line Gaethje up with a title challenge. Maybe a rematch with Charlie Olives, I don't really know anymore. And with Topuria potentially moving up, who knows what the title picture is going to look like at 155 the rest of the year. I don't think Justin would want to just do the Hooker fight now. Like, he only has so many left in him, and if his goal is to win the title, is that going to get him any closer? I just don't think so. So yeah, Mr. Excitement's in a really weird space, which probably means he will fight for the title next time he's in the cage. What do I know? And yeah, those are the major narratives coming out of 313, but that doesn't mean there's not more to talk about. Let's run some numbers on this sucker, pour over some interesting stats, and hand out some awards, shall we? The UFC's 30th event at T-Mobile Arena had just 10 fights with 2 KO, TKOs, 2 submissions, 6 decisions, for a total cage time of 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 19 seconds. Dogs and favorites split the night 50-50. How about that? If you had Bruno Ferreira taking out Armin Petrosyan by armbar in round 2, then you're probably pretty happy right now, since that was a plus 1,500 outcome. Good for you. This one's not exactly a happy stat, at least not for King Green, but that was the first time that he's ever been knocked out by a kick in his 51 professional bouts. And what a damn kick it was by Mauricio Rufy, who had also never scored a head kick KO. There were 16 significant strikes landed in the Lemos-Lucendo fight with a total control time over 12 minutes, making it definitely a fan favorite bout on the card that I'm sure everybody's gonna go back and watch again later. That is now 3 of the night bonuses in a row for Nacho Bahamondes for his triangle finish of Jalen Turner, earning him our Scrooge McOlives award. Gaethje Fiziev 1 and 2 earned Fight of the Night honors. Both had a 5 significant strike differential average, and Gaethje won both of them. But for Fiziev recovering from that knockdown, he's getting our Ras Al Ghul award. That was the first of Poatan's 7 UFC title fights that has ever gone the distance. He also threw considerably less on average per minute at 5.48 significant strikes attempted, compared to his last 3 defenses that all averaged at 10 or more. So nearly half as many. Not sure what Ankh did exactly, but maybe the blueprint for beating Stone Man is making him into a Stone Man. And that is that. We've chopped up 313, we've seen everything it has to offer, and the real MVP right now is Max Randall. He edits these autopsies together so damn fast and really gives them the socks that make them work. Follow his socials and give his YouTube channel a watch. It is fantastic. I also got to thank our channel members as well. Your support is massive for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can become a member by hitting the join button. There's a single price tier and exclusive content, fight fans. I would highly recommend it. Like and subscribe for a video like this one after every pay-per-view. Sound off in the comments all your thoughts on 313, and thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care till the next one.